Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Cabinet Vision Guy. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at how we create a backup from this PC and then restore it on another PC. So the type of thing that we're going to be backing up are things like all of our part and material schedules, door catalogues, but also our construction methods, things like assemblies, drawer boxes, that type of thing. We'll also be taking our system preferences as well as a copy of all our graphics folder, so all the images and material textures too. So I'm going to do that just by going to Utilities and going to the Backup utility, and I'm just going to move this across to give myself a little bit of space. So the first thing that I'm presented with when I open the Backup utility is I've got a list of items that I want to include in my backup, and I've got a list of items that I want to ignore. So I'm going to run through what each one of these is and hopefully give some sort of description. So the first thing that I bring across is my report database. And essentially this is any reports that I've got in my system or any custom reports that I've created. The next thing in my list is all of my graphics folder. So I'm just going to add this one across. Now you notice as soon as I select one, I've got a couple of options here if I just want to move things back and forward using these arrows. And I'm just going to take a look at the graphics folder. And this is located for me, if I just go to Cabinet Vision, this is located in the Common 2025 folder, and then Database and Graphics. Obviously this depends on which version you're using and where you have your Cabinet Vision installed, but essentially all of the graphics is all of our material textures, but it's also the textures that we've got in the catalogue as well for things like SketchUp models. So this one's really important if we want to take an entire copy of our system over to a fresh PC. So the next thing on our list I'm actually going to skip over for a second, and I'm just going to take the core data item and bring that across. And you'll notice when I've done that, the assigned material textures come across with it as well. And this is because these two pieces sort of go hand in hand. So what's contained in the core data is things like the part catalogue, so all of our parts, and I'll put a graphic on the left hand side to show. We've also got all of the materials in our material manager, as well as all the material schedules. We've also got all the doors from our door manager, so all our door styles, door material schedules and their associations. We've also got all the construction methods from the assembly manager, so that's for the assemblies, the countertops and the drawer boxes and rollouts as well. Core data contains the object catalogues too, so this is all our catalogues where our assemblies and library parts are saved away. We also take a copy of the drawings library as well, so this is our pre-configured assembly sheets, part sheets, wall elevations, symbols and title block templates as well. And if we run in the screen to machine module, we've also got all our CNC information as well, so our machine catalogue and also our tool catalogue. So there's quite a bit of information stored in the core data, hence the reason it's called core data. So then we've got assigned material textures, and essentially what this is if a material has a texture assigned to it, actively assigned material texture, that's also included in the backup as well. So from there we've also got our default.dat and default clst.dat, and this is our user settings for layers. And then we've got our posts, so this is our post processors, and this is to go essentially with our machining data that's stored within core data, but essential if we're running the screen to machine module. We've then got system parameters, which I'm going to add in here, and this is essentially things like our system settings, so preferences, things like that. And then we've also got CRM data as well if we're using the CRM module, so that's our complete customer database. So I'm going to add that one in as well. Now before I choose to save this backup, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to head into the settings, and I'm just going to talk you through a couple of the different settings that we've got in here to help us manage our backups. So the first settings that I'm going to look at up at the top is we've got options here to prompt us for managing our backups essentially. So when we first go into the backup manager, we can set the system, say essentially after there are a number of backups created, or after they occupy a certain size, or based around hard drive. So we can tick this, and when we go into the backup manager, what happens then, it just gives us a prompt and tells us it's probably time to start deleting some of the archives and getting rid of them from the automatic backups folder. We can also say that we want to delete all but the last number of archives, and we can exclude things like the automatic backups from the archive count as well. So what we do when we restore a backup, which we're going to look at in a second, the system automatically creates an automatic backup for us, obviously just to protect our data just in case. If you're not too sure where your automatic backups are stored on the PC, which is really common, you can come in here and just copy and paste this folder if you need to. But if you want to change this location, you can also come in here and just browse to a new location. I've also got a couple of different options down here. This one I'm going to tick, and it's use backup comment as folder name. So in a second we're about to save a backup, and we have a prompt just to get us to input a comment. And what happens is when we create the backup, that's used essentially as the backup name, and it's really helpful if we've got several different backups in there. If we don't tick this, the backup name should be the date and time when you do the backup itself. And the last option is include zip in backup. Again, this is really helpful, especially if we've got a really big backup size. We can include a compressed version in there which can be copied and pasted and restored as well. So I'm just going to hit OK for these, and I'm going to hit save to create my backup. And the first thing it says is enter a description. So I'm just going to call this one my backup. And I'm going to hit OK. And as you'll see, it's just going to start creating my backup. This is going to take a couple of minutes, so I'm going to skip forward now. So with my backup now finished, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close Cabinet Vision down and just go find that folder. So I'm just going to open up File Explorer, and for me I'm in C drive, and then CV Backups, Automatic Backups, and we'll see we've got a My Backups folder in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to copy this over, put it on a memory stick or in a shared location, and we're going to transfer across to an imaginary new PC, and we're going to restore this backup. So now that we're on the new PC, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that backup into the same automatic backups folder if I can find the same directory. If I can, I'm going to follow the same steps of just going to the welcome screen and then backup utility and then settings to find my automatic backups folder. But once I've done that, I'm going to copy this into here. And then to restore that backup, what I need to do is just start typing restore CV 2025 settings. And then what I'm presented with is a list of backups that I've got in this folder. Obviously I've only got one at the moment, but I can have a look through. Normally if I don't use the comment as the file name, I'd have a list of dates here for the backups, but I can also see the comment down here. But I can then choose what I want to restore with this backup, and obviously I'm going to make sure everything's ticked. And once I'm ready, I'm just going to hit OK. And what this is going to do, it's going to take a couple of minutes just to restore all my data, so all my databases, all my registry and everything. And once I've done that, I'm ready to open Cabinet Vision and just verify that my backup settings have been restored. So with Cabinet Vision open now, typically after I've restored data, what I'll do is I'll just go through my system and check a few different things that I'm expecting to see. Just to make sure I've brought everything across as expected and I've ticked everything when I've done the backup. Don't forget, if you need more help with the backup and restore, if you head to the help file, you'll see that there's a complete guide on the backup utility, and we'll have the same as well for the restore. And you can also go onto the Nexus community, and under the Cabinet Vision guide, so just in here, under the knowledge base, if we then go into install backups, file locations and setup packages, you'll see that we've got a couple of different guides there, including transferring a different backup and also how to schedule automatic backups as well. So some pretty good information. I hope everybody's found this useful. Don't forget, we're on Facebook at the Cabinet Vision Guy if you want to see what we're working on in the future. Feel free to like, subscribe and share. Thanks.